Here are 15 of the best Ask Reddit stories for today. I hope you enjoy and remember to subscribe. It really helps us out. We post new videos every day.
Little Johnny's class was learning vocabulary in health class. The teacher was going down the list, asking students to use the words in a sentence. Rectum, she said, and Johnny eagerly waved his hand, but she had some experience with Johnny, meaning his use of obscene words, so she called on Susie instead. The next word was defecate, and again, she thought it best not to call on Johnny despite his enthusiastically raised hand. Finally, she came to urinate, and figured Johnny couldn't do much harm with that one. Sure enough, he raised his hand, practically leaping out of his desk to make sure she saw him. Okay, fine, Johnny, she said reluctantly. Urinate, Johnny said. Teacher, urinate, but if your boobs were bigger, you'd be a 9. What's the female version of small dick energy? I hate drama, but gossip is the lowest form of conversation. It just means they're so uninteresting they have to rely on the exploits of others. What do you call Andrew Tate in a Romanian prison? Incel. Nice try, but you can't make a joke funnier than the reality. Got arrested for trying to outsmart a 19-yo. This is truly a magical season. And they say Christmas miracles don't happen. I used to drug my dad so that I could go out and get drunk. Back my junior year I went out and got drunk and subsequently got caught and heavily reprimanded. One day my dad has terrible allergies, so he took some Benadryl, and I noticed that he was out like a baby, so I started dissolving a Benadryl in his sleepy time tea. We always had tea together before bed, and I often prepared it, so it wasn't unusual for me to prepare his tea. I did this several times so I could go out and get drunk without consequences. I only stoked because one time he drank the usual Benadryl slick tea but also drank a beer, and I was up all night checking on him to make sure the alcohol didn't react badly with the Benadryl. To this day I feel terrible, and when I think back I often cry. What is the dumbest thing you've seen someone spend their money on? I worked with a guy who'd spend $200 to $300 a week on OnlyFans. He'd brag about it. I guess he thought if he'd spent enough he might get lucky or something. Men, what's something hard about being a man that you wish women understood? We need to feel needed too. As a woman, I hate to admit that it's taken me a long time to fully appreciate this. I wish I would have understood it in depth much sooner. It would have saved me, and my husband, a lot of grief in our marriage. My wife packed my bags and told me to leave. As I was headed out the door, she said, "I hope you die a long, slow, painful death." I said, "So now you want me to stay? If I were your wife, I would put poison in your tea. If I were your husband, I would drink it." 3 people arrive at the gates of heaven. St. Peter is processing them in. Name and occupation, please. The first one says, Andrea Smith, I was a doctor. Of course, doctors who save lives are allowed. Come in. Next, the second one says, Megan Jones, I was a nurse. Of course, nurses who care for the sick and wounded are allowed. Come in. Next, the third one says, Michael Davis. I was a hospital administrator and then a health insurance CEO, and I supervised hundreds of doctors and nurses, and in my hospitals there were thousands of people getting well. St. Peter pulls out a large book and starts referencing long tables and figures. Finally he says, okay, we can approve you for a 1-week stay. A Jewish man and a Chinese man were talking. The Chinese man is proudly telling the Jewish man about his heritage. We can trace our history back for over 3,000 years, he exclaims with pride. Well, that's very impressive, replies the Jewish man, but our history goes back for almost 6,000 years. The Chinese man, after some consideration, says to the Jewish man, well, that doesn't make any sense. What did you people eat back then? My wife slipped on black ice and landed on her tailbone. She came inside with bloody hands and said, can you check and see? I think I broke my tailbone. I'll take a look. With my 8-year-old son and 5-year-old daughter beside me, I drop her sweats down and say, oh, sweetie, it's broken. My kids at me because they don't see it, and she says, it is? Yeah, look, there's a big crack in it. A warning to all you drivers at Christmas. Be careful about drunk driving as we are getting close to Christmas and police are out there checking on people. Last night I was out for a few drinks. One thing led to another and I had a few too many cocktails and then went onto the wine. Not a good idea. Knowing I was over the limit, I decided to leave my car at the bar and took a bus home. Sure enough, I passed a police checkpoint where they were pulling over drivers and performing breathalyzer tests. Because I was in a bus, they just waved it past. I arrived home safely and without incident, which was a real surprise as I've never driven a bus before and I am not even sure where I got it from. A lady went into the pharmacy, right up to the pharmacist, looked straight into his eyes, and said, I would like to buy some cyanide. The pharmacist asked, why in the world do you need cyanide? The lady, I need it to poison my husband. The pharmacist's eyes got big and he exclaimed, Lord have mercy. I can't give you cyanide to kill your husband. That's against the law. I'll lose my license. They'll throw both of us in jail. All kinds of bad things will happen. Absolutely not. You cannot have any cyanide. The lady reached into her purse and pulled out a picture of her husband in bed with the pharmacist's wife. The pharmacist looked at the picture and replied, oh well, now that's different. You didn't tell me you had a prescription. What was ruined by rich people? Thrifting. Thrifting is cool when it's rich people donating and poor people buying. Housing used to be the only people buying houses were those that were intending to live in them. Now you have rich people looking into investing in real estate, and guess what? Rich houses are poor investments. So rich people are buying up all the affordable housing, driving up the price and creating scarcity. My cat is very fat. A girl takes her big fat cat to the vet. My cat is very fat, she says. Alright, says the vet. I will look at him. The vet picks up the cat and examines its teeth. Then she looks at its eyes. Then into its ears. Finally, she turns to the girl and says, I'm very sorry. I'm going to have to put your cat down. Oh no, because he's so fat? Yes, says the doctor. My arms are very tired. A woman was 3 months pregnant when she fell into a deep coma and woke up after about 10 months. The woman asked the doctor about her baby. Doctor, you had twins, a boy and a girl. They're both fine. And, your brother named them for you. Woman, no. Not my brother. He's an idiot. What did he name the girl? Doctor, Denise. Woman, oh, that's actually a nice name. What about the boy? Doctor, nephew. What's the difference between a wife and a job? After 2 years the job still sucks.